Okay, so today I'm just going to show you how to create a simple array just by using two for loops. So we're going to offset this tool in the X direction and the Y direction. So you can see I have some sort of palette here, and there's a number of holes. So we've got 4 holes in the X direction, and then we've got 3 holes in the Y. So what I'll do is I'll pick a point as my main point, and then I'll offset in the X and the Y to pick each of these individually. So to get started, we just need to set up a couple of points on this. So the first one I'll do is I'll set up the home position, which is just use the current position. So click on teach target with the paths and targets and just rename that to home. And what I will do is that, just make sure that your tool is set to my tool as well, by the way. And I'm going to change these to a speed of 200 and a zone of fine. And then what I'll do is I'm going to teach this point down here as the first point. So if you go to target, create target, snap the center and just select that point. Click create, and if you view the tool at the target, so view tool at target, you can just about see underneath that the tool is pointing up. So we need to change that. So right click, modify target, rotate. In the local reference, rotate along the Y by 180 degrees. Click apply and close. So that's where we want it to be. And I'm just going to rename this to place point. Okay, and I'll just create a simple path for now. So we'll go to place point and to home. Auto configure, and we will move along path. Okay, so you can see that. So what I'll do now is I'm going to synchronize this to Rapid. Module 1 will send over the tool data. I don't have a work object, so we'll click OK. Click on Rapid and open module 1, and you can see that the data is here. So what I'll do is I'll split this screen. So right click, new vertical tab, so we can keep an eye on the robot at the same time. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is I'm just going to create a new procedure that I want to call. So we will call this PROC array. And proc. And I'm going to move these two move commands in there. So cut and paste. Okay. So in order to move it in the Y direction, what we'll need is a for loop. So if we go for the variable, we'll call it Y, use a small y, and we'll go from 0 to 3 or to 2. And the reason why it's 2, so it starts at 0 and 1 and 2. And in the X direction, we'll go for X from 0 to 3. And we need to end both of them for loops, end for and end for. So you can see in the X direction we'll go 0, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and for now we'll just call the array. Okay, so what we want to do is we have this place point, but that's a constant, and we want to vary that. So what I'm going to do is just copy this, and underneath I'm going to paste, and I'm going to change it to a variable, and we're going to call it place point variable. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll call place point variable. So place point var, and we're going to use the offset function. So if you type in O, you can see that the first function that comes up is offset. So hit tab, and brackets, and it'll tell you what you need. So rob target point. So we're going to be using place point. Okay, so that's this first place point, and then we want to offset that in the x direction. So each of these are 70 mil apart. So what we'll do is we'll multiply x multiply by 70. So when x is 0, so it's x multiplied by 70 is 0, so this won't offset. X multiplied by 1 is 70, so it'll offset 70 in the x direction, and so on. And we'll do similar then in the y direction. So we have y multiplied by 140, and this will be going to the left, so it'll actually be minus 140. And we are not offsetting it in the z direction, so that's a 0, and that's fine. Okay, so down here then what we'll be doing is, instead of calling this place point, what we'll be doing is be calling this place point variable. So we'll just replace that in there, and I will just wait time it is, and we'll wait half a second. Okay, so if I run that, it should go to the first point, then back home, then to the second point in the x direction and back home, third back home, fourth back home, and then it'll go to the second point in the y direction, and it should follow that path. So let's just run. So I'm going to set the pointer to main, and go start. Okay, so there was no main, so I'm just going to call this main. Okay, so it's moved to the second one. That's okay. So the reason why it didn't run the first time is because in Rapid it needs to go to the main function as the entry point. So I should have specified that when I was synchronizing. So it's gone to the first 2 points. Okay, so now it should go to the second point in the y direction, which it has. I could have probably made it a bit faster, but okay, and there it's finished. So there you go. So it's just a simple function offset. So you pick the target you want to offset, the x and the y direction and the z direction, and we just created a variable rob target in order to move that. And that's it. If you have any questions, just drop me a comment below. Thanks.